Wrestling has definitely done a lot for me. It's like taught me how to like be mentally tough and how like there happens like some things I cannot control. Like even if I put in my best, like it's okay that sometimes I will fail and that like it just keeps me going, like just keeps me encouraged pretty much.
Hey everybody, this is Rodney Valinga with the West Ottawa High School Athletic Program, and you're listening to the 29-1 podcast. 29 sports, one team. The show that brings you into the lives of student athletes, coaches, and other faces in the Panther sports community, bringing you the stories you might otherwise never hear. Join myself and Athletic Director Bill Kennedy as we dive in with you to get to know each other a little bit better. It's not very often that an athlete gets to be the first of the first, but two West Ottawa wrestlers are doing just that, accomplishing things in wrestling that have never been done before in the black and white.
Today, we're joined by senior Isabel Anaya, junior Liana Zavala, and coach Mathias Sarli of West Ottawa Wrestling. Girls wrestling may be one of the newest programs here at West Ottawa, but these girls are doing some big things on the mat.
They are setting the pace for one of the fastest growing high school sports across the country and inspiring future wrestlers throughout our community.
Isabel Anaya, Liana Zavala, and coach Mathias Sarli next on the 29-1 podcast. Let's get it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the 29-1 podcast. I'm your host, Rodney Valinga, and I'm here with Panthers Athletic Director Bill Kennedy. This is our first recording session for 2025, so we're excited about that. We've actually made it to year 2, kind of, so that's pretty exciting. Today's guests are some of the most successful athletes in their sport in West Ottawa history. Although the program is very young, they are performing at elite levels and putting their mark on girls varsity wrestling here at West Ottawa High School, really being the first to do the things they are doing in so many categories.
Yeah, we're joined by Isabel Anaya, a 4-time Kent County Classic winner, recent winner of the Montague Mat Cat Championship, a 3-time state placer, 3-time All-State wrestler, and academic All-State, so getting it done in the classroom as well. And then Liana Zavala, a junior for us, who just won her 3rd Kent County Classic, is a 2-time state placer and has been 2 times All-State.
Yeah, they've been to the state finals at Ford Field multiple times throughout their high school careers and are putting together another successful season so far. Always looking to have solid weekly success in duels and tournaments as they build toward a hopeful return to the Motor City. And as they push forward in both their senior and junior years, we are also joined by their coach. And it's a privilege to ask, who is it?
Coach Sarli.
I'm Isabel Anaya.
And I'm Liana Zavala.
Awesome. It's really awesome to have you all here coming in fresh off of a practice today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
One thing that kind of stands out for both of you, you guys go out on the mat and absolutely crush people. But when I see you in the hallways, you're always quick to give me a smile. You two seem to have a great joy. And my first question for both of you, and maybe Isabel, you'll start for us. What is the switch? You go from this bubbly, smiley personality to I'm going to go out and crush this person when I get out on the mat. Like, how does that happen?
To be honest, I have no idea. I think maybe I just don't like losing. So that I'm like, I'd rather not lose and be embarrassed about that. So maybe I just got to be a little meaner. So
all right, Liana.
I don't know. It's like I feel like not really like two different people, like on and off the mat, but like it kind of that's what it is. Like it's like a switch. Like on the mat, you're like, oh, I gotta lock in. So like it's different.
Well, you've both done an awesome job at it.
Well, it's great to have both of you on here. I have to be honest, I haven't gone to a lot of wrestling, so...
Oh, you definitely should.
I know I should. I've been watching it on YouTube, and I'm like, this is pretty impressive. So I'm going to be a good example of the person in the community who doesn't know a lot about wrestling. So it happens. We go to the sports that our kids do, and I don't have anybody in wrestling. I've never gone, but watching the two of you wrestle is really, really exciting. So I'm very familiar with both your names, though, because I heard lots about you. So I really consider it almost like it's a real privilege just to sit here with you. Really excited about it. Like a lot of sports, you're busy over the holiday break. Coach, how far are you into the season right now, and how has it been going?
We're about halfway through. It's been going great. I mean, I can't complain. These girls and boys are doing everything that we ask. They're working hard. They're coming to practice. They're showing up, and I really appreciate that from everyone. So yeah, we're excited to continue with the second half of the season and hopefully show that we can compete with the high level and get to, to Ford Field.
Yeah, you just finished up that Montague Lady Mat Cat tournament. I thought, when I talked to you on the phone, it's been a few weeks ago now because we had planned on doing this a lot earlier, but the Mat Cat was like a good example of what your team is like right now, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially like with the number of people that place. Can we talk about that real briefly?
Yeah, for sure. Like, we had 4 girls compete at the Mad Cat tournament this past weekend, and out of 5, 4 placed, and we ended up like just 0.5 points away from being in the top 5 out of, 58 teams that were there.
It's crazy.
It's amazing that these girls like just, go out there, do what they do every day, and then like kill it. Like that's all I can really say is that they go out there and they do their job and they crush it.
Isabel, because most teams are going to have 14. There's how many weight classes are there?
14.
There's 14.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of teams. Do a lot of girls teams now have that many?
No,
not really.
Not a lot. But
okay.
There are some.
All right.
Like I know Grand Haven, I think, is pretty close to it.
Oh, yeah.
Romeo, Hastings definitely does. Yeah, there was a lot of teams that had full lineups there that we were just shy of catching.
Sure.
Out of just 5 girls going,
yeah, it's quite something. Liana, how did Isabel do in the Montague?
Isabel did her thing. She just doesn't need any pointers. She's all she needs to do is just put on her A game, and then she goes out there and just kills it. Like Coach said, she just I'll watch her because our weight classes are kind of close together. So if I can watch her, I will. But they were kind of close together, so we were wrestling at the same time. So we had coach here, coach here. So, but when I did watch her in some of her videos, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I practiced with her.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. And how about watching Liana wrestle, Isabel? What's it like for you just to? I know if you wrestle at the same time, you'll get a chance to see each other as much. But how did I know you came back through the blood rounds, but you can talk about her a little bit.
Usually when I see Liana wrestle, I am so surprised every time because she hasn't been doing this as long, but she's just so freaking strong. And then I see her throwing random moves we just learned in practice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's insane. I get so nervous trying new things, but when Liana does it, it looks so effortless and it looks so good. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah, we will talk about some moves a little bit later because I find that you're really, really interesting about those types of things. So that's cool that you're able to put that into practice. And I mean, you're surprising her, so you're doing something right.
No, it's so funny because I would be wrestling with Liana and I'll be going to Coach Montoya and practice oh my goodness, if Liana hits this move, she's gonna beat all of her opponents. She's so tough. She's so strong.
Yeah.
She put in the legs on me. I was and I pretended I couldn't get out, but for real, it was tough. I had to try every as
he
hard
just
as
said
I
he
can.
pretended. That's what he said.
I had to. I'm not gonna let her think that that she was doing it.
Well, you got some new incentive for the next go around with him, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Coach, you're in your second year
Yes.
As head coach. Also work at West Ottawa down at Harbor Lights as the lead security down there. Kind of a perfect combination, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to kind of recruit the next.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was a perfect combination because he's a wrestling coach and I ain't messing with you.
Oh no, not at all.
I am not going to get my shoulder blades pinned
No,
on this
it's nothing
hallway
like
floor.
You've been a part of the wrestling community at West Ottawa now for how long?
Oh my goodness, for so long. I can't even.
All the way back to your high school days, right?
I mean, no, even before that, it was middle school. I started wrestling when I was in 7th grade here at West Ottawa. So, I mean, I have deep roots for West Ottawa. I mean, I bleed black and white. So I love every bit of this community. I love, being a part of it all.
You were a wrestler too back in your day,
I
right?
was. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little about your wrestling career.
It wasn't as great as theirs, I can tell you that.
It's okay. It doesn't have to be.
It was good. I freshman year I wrestled 119, and then I moved up weight class each year. I finished.
Little guy back in the day,
no,
huh?
No, now it's
You got if you went age to age, if he could go back to his old self and you guys were able to go at it, that's something.
Oh yeah. No, it's all those
Just
hot
destroy
wings.
'em.
I swear.
It's the hot
Can't beat a Buffalo Wild Wings. You go Tuesdays.
Get those LBs on there.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, my wrestling career was, like I said, it wasn't as great as theirs, but I love the competition. I love competing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. For me, like my mindset was like I had to be the best in the practice room. Like I did not like getting taken down. I didn't like losing. Like just like them, I just was. I had that switch. Once I was in the practice room, once I was wrestling, I had to turn it on. So let's see, my senior year, fell short. I broke my ankle. Senior year I was at regionals, match to go to state, broke it. Yep. And then actually, funny story, like I worked my way back up and then I walked on MCC and started for them for 2 years. So, yeah.
So a lot of perseverance there with your career. Yeah. A lot of hard work. Liana, you started, you're a junior and this is your third season. You were once a soccer player when you were little though, right? That was kind of your sport for a long time.
Yeah. I think I started playing soccer when I was like second, third grade.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know anything about wrestling. Like nobody in my family does wrestling or like any sport actually. So freshman year I had this like weightlifting class and we were like maxing out one day and this girl was like, you know what? I think you'd be good at wrestling or something. Like you're really strong. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, there's an open mat and a meeting for the beginning of the season. So you should come. So I did. And then, I don't know. I just kept doing it. Like it was kind of like a habit to just keep going.
So you had no plans on becoming a wrestler, but that was part of it. Somebody just said, hey, coming out and maybe try this.
Yeah. I knew nothing about wrestling. Like I never watched wrestling or like anything because
You're making me feel better. Thanks.
Yeah, I know. I was listening to you say that and I was like, I felt the same way like before freshman. I still did soccer. After wrestling, it was like a huge jump, just like very different, like cardio and very different movement. But,
oh yeah, very very different sports. Isabel, did you have any impact on Liana coming out for wrestling?
It was kind of a little bit like after she already joined. It was almost like one of those things like me and another girl on the team, like we just took in Liana and we're like, you're just going to start sparring with us and we're just going to teach you everything we know so that you can be like really tough on us and we can be tough on you.
Did you guys know each other at all back then?
No, we had like a couple classes together in like middle school, yeah. I think.
Okay.
But, like so I heard of her, like I saw her, but like we never really talked.
So that's interesting. So we got an older person taking you in.
Just got to be the way, right?
I mean, we're family. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you come out for one day. It doesn't. You're part of this, wrestling community. You're with us for life. So it's awesome to see her take her on just like that. It's great.
Did you like it right away? Was it something that came natural to you?
Yeah, really. I was just like, this is so different from like soccer and like football and just everything else. And I was like, there's just so much to like do and like learn. And I don't know, it was just intriguing to me. So I just kept coming back.
Yeah, she picked up really fast. Like it was within an instant. Like we were like, oh my goodness, who is this girl?
Really? Isabel, talk about that. I mean, you've had success. So when you see somebody jump in and have some, immediate success and talent, you got to get pretty excited about that.
Oh yeah, I was definitely excited. She's really coachable. So, like there was like things we were like just teaching her moves and we were telling her right before her match, oh, we've seen you like do this in practice. Try doing this instead. And she did it right there in the middle of the match. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like she's going to be super good. And I'm so glad that she joined wrestling.
And you have to, as a wrestler, you have to be very willing to give those things a try, right? Not just in the practice space, but on a mat, in a match. What is that? Does that create some sort of anxiety as a wrestler? Like, oh, I'm about to throw this new move. I hope that I land it correctly.
Like we have this saying, you live by the throw, you die by the throw. So like if you hit a move, like you're going to expose your back, it's risky, but hey, high reward. You just never know on these moves. So if you practice it a lot, you get that muscle memory down. It's easy. No anxiety. Like I can hit a move. Like like I said, it's muscle memory for me. So, and I'm sure it is for them as well.
Isabel, you're a senior.
Yeah.
You're in your final season already.
Yeah.
It's whenever we have the seniors in here, it's always like, I don't want to remind them that it's their final stretch, but it always is. You've been wrestling for quite some time. The beginning, it's like for your brothers wrestled, right? Talk a little bit about getting your start.
Yeah, my older brother wrestled in college, and my younger brother, he started wrestling like early elementary school, and I watched him do like one practice, and I was like, okay, this looks really fun. Like everyone's just rolling on the mats, like
doing it around the house anyways,
yeah,
right?
I was like, just sign me up. Like, I'm excited for this.
No, she was getting beat up by her little brother. Though.
Oh, okay.
I was not getting beat up.
That's not what Abel told me. So.
Yeah, so it was like one of those things, like, and then usually when I do a sport, I always do it like 2 years to like make sure I like it. And so wrestling just became one of those things like I just started to do like every year after a little while. So yeah, I just kind of grew on me and stuff.
I was able to talk to your mom a little bit, and she told me a little story. She goes, she might own up to this, she might not. So let's see if you do. But she said, I think you were in either 7th or 8th grade, and you were, because you wrestled boys back then a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So she said you were at a gym, and you were there, and little, whatever, 12-year-old you says to your mom, Mom, why are all these boys crying? Did you remember the story?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. You tell it from now on.
It was like, we were at one of the My Way tournaments, and I've just seen all of these boys crying, and I was like, it's not that bad. Like, why are you crying? Like, you guys are just being little babies about it. And then I was like, let me just wrestle a few tournaments because I want to make some boys cry, because I thought it was the funniest thing ever, just to like see them crying to their dads, and they're like, she's a girl, like I let her win. No, you just didn't know what you were doing.
I love it. It's so much fun. The legend is real. The story is true. It's amazing.
One of the cool things that I've gotten to experience really over my time here at West Ottawa is the sea change. We don't see a lot of girls having to wrestle boys anymore, right? Because for the most part, it's a girl's wrestling is wrestling other girls.
Mm-hmm.
What has that been like for both of you? Maybe Liana, you could speak to this first, to know like, okay, I don't have to go and wrestle a boy just because that's the only person they have. It's been cool to be a part of that. I mean, you guys are part of this like movement, really.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest growing sports in the nation right now. So like you just see a bunch of girls wanting to compete with the best. So I think has a huge part of it on it, is that, you know, girls want to wrestle, want to be tough, want to be there, want to grind. Like I love that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was like thinking, because I was saying like I wrestled, I think like a WAM tournament, and I had to wrestle like 4 guys, I think, and I was just like, oh, it was so humbling. And this was like freshman year too, so I was like, they're so strong, and like the weight distribution for girls versus guys is like really different. And I was like, and like, you know, and I experienced it too. Like I have an older brother, and we were like getting like a few brawls sometimes, and like in elementary, like it was fine, you know what I mean? But as you started getting in middle school, I'm like, where's the strength coming from? Because like he never like worked out or anything. It's just like they just get like stupid strong out of nowhere. And I can't imagine doing like Isabel, like what she did. Like she told me that she's glad that she doesn't wrestle guys no more, because like I can't imagine how strong that they would be, because they're strong like in places that like that I didn't even know were possible.
You guys probably don't think about this very much, but when you get old like we do, I'm talking about Bill and myself.
Oh, I'm there, too. I'm there too.
You start to see things in the big picture, and you guys are like, you're the first of the first, right? If you want to look up any history at West Ottawa and these different sports, whatever it's going to be, there's going to be one day when they go back to the beginning of girls varsity wrestling at West Ottawa High School. It's going to be you guys. How does that make you feel? Like, what's it like to be the first of the first? Isabel.
Thinking about it like that, it kind of like really surprising, because I feel like, oh, there's like definitely more girls who have like done this before me, but then thinking of it like that, like it's really surprising, and it kind of makes me happy knowing that I'm able to like set that way for every other girl, like hopefully inspire them to like join wrestling and stuff. I think it's cool. Absolutely. How about yourself?
I think it's kind of scary, because like it's just like I do that with the guys sometimes, like, and like I forgot who came in and told us like I want you to like look back on me and like want to be better. Like look at me and be like, I want to be better than them, like not as good as them or like compare, like top them. And so like I feel like I hope that somebody does that to me in the near future. Like looks at my matches and oh my, that's so weird. Like they're gonna be looking at like the matches that are just out there on YouTube, and some of them are like, yeah, I don't know.
That's funny.
I feel like it's a privilege.
Yeah, no, we definitely got to get a board for the girls' accolades soon in the wrestling room, so they, the future can see their names, and especially a great accomplishment that is coming up, that Isabella's like 15 matches away from 100 wins.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, that's a huge feat. Like no girl has ever done that before at West Ottawa. So like,
yeah, in my time, being a part of West Ottawa and hosting tournaments and those sorts of things, we've had a couple of boys who have kind of eclipsed that 100, and it's a big deal. You get the banner out, you get the photos. So yeah, kudos to you, and really for persevering initially, right? Because as a middle school wrestler, you're wrestling boys all the time. It would be really easy for you to just say, I don't know if this is really my thing. But you kind of pushed forward, and now you're in a spot where, I mean, you're going to accomplish something that no one else at West Ottawa has ever done. That's pretty awesome. And you're going to do it with a smile on your face as you're getting your hand raised.
absolutely.
Yeah, after every win, you have this sheepish, funny smile on your face. Ready to put your hand up?
It's so funny because she hugs their opponent after she wins.
Oh, I'm sure they love that.
No, yeah, they absolutely hate it. And I asked her one day, I was like, why do you do that? I was like, because I just beat them. I want to assert my dominance. I want them to know how they just lost to me. I was like, oh, okay, I respect that. I was like, okay, now I get it. It's mind games.
That's so funny. Oh man,
what is it? Real quick, what has it been like, Coach? Maybe you can speak to this. To see the growth of girls wrestling across West Michigan, and now you have schools that are hosting girls only tournaments, and you continue to kind of see the sport push forward. You've kind of seen it since its infancy, right? I mean, when I first came to West Ottawa, we had, I don't know, 3 or 4 girls, and they always wrestled boys. And what's it been like to kind of see that change?
It has been great. Just having that difference of, just going, you're always going to those boys tournaments, and then you're seeing these girls that are competing at a high level, just as good as the boys. It's great to watch. It's great to see how fast this sport is growing all around, not just in West Michigan, but around the world. Like you see it in colleges now. You got college girls teams. You got the Olympics, girls competing there. It's so awesome to see this sport grow, and we're happy to be a part of it. And I hope they continue on. And that's the goal, is for them to continue on and watch them grow and see them succeed, after this.
Leon, you guys have a pretty strong community too, right? The West Ottawa wrestling community, with like support of people. And you guys just recently had a fundraiser. I believe it raised $4,700 or so. What's it like to have the people around here supporting you guys?
It's just like so many people, but like some people don't pay any mind to wrestling, but like we're trying to like put it out there, you know what I mean? So like I hope that our efforts are doing a little something.
It does happen in some sports where it's like there's these great things happening, and because it's not, I know what you're saying.
And I think we're moving in that direction.
I think so too.
We went over to Northview and did their assembly duel. We're going to host that here next year.
Are we doing one
for
here?
Sure?
Awesome. It's going to happen.
Oh, sweet. Because when I talked to Coach on the phone about it, and we were trying to talk on the phone the first time, he says, I'm on my way to assembly duel. I'm like, okay. I guess that's a wrestling term. I don't know. But then I found out what it was later. I'm like, yeah, that must have been fantastic. What was it like to wrestle in that environment? Let's explain what it is first. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Bill.
so this is, end of the school day. What was 1:30 start?
It was 1:30 start. Yep.
1:30 start, so you got an hour left of the school day. Basically, the school comes down into the gym, and there's mats out, and a wrestling duel is happening, and
so sweet.
Everybody gets exposed to it.
It was like a basketball game. It was a hockey
packed
game.
House.
It was packed house. It was great environment, like electric. Sorry.
Yeah, electric environment.
Yep.
What was it like for you to wrestle in it, Isabel?
When I wrestled, there wasn't like a lot of the schools already gone when I
Oh, they
wrestled.
were?
Yeah. Because I was in like the last few matches. So like I didn't get to experience experience wrestling with everyone watching, but from like being there and like cheering on my team, it was really loud. A lot of the kids are like screaming. They're like, "Oh, just pin him, just throw him." I'm like, "You don't even know what you're talking about." So like half the things you were saying don't sound like like it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. How about for yourself, Liana?
I couldn't imagine like being one of the guys like on varsity in wrestling in front of like the whole school, because there's always that one section like what do you call that? The student section?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had their own little student section, except they were like on the floor like inches away from the mat, and they were just like the chants that they were chanting were so distracting. I can't imagine hearing that during my match. It was generally so distracting. I was like, it felt like a football game. You know how you'll chant like to the other team, like, boom, to say all this and that, to try to distract them. And, yeah, and it was just like that, and I was like, I can't. And yeah, one of my matches were towards the end, like bells. So like, yeah, everybody like the bell rang, school's out, like half the bleachers left, and so it was
well, thanks.
Yeah, right. Everyone wanted to get home. Only some people stayed.
Can we get an early start time?
Yeah, maybe we can work on that.
The negotiations are happening.
Yes.
You guys have the greatest pull you're ever going to have right at this moment in the middle of this podcast.
Well,
you can hold them to it.
Yeah, and it's something that, we've talked about doing in years past. December is a crazy month around here, as Rodney, and we have the month of giving and the Senior Survivor Assembly.
Oh, yeah.
But it's something that, we're trying to basically raise the level and give everyone the same exposure that a football or a basketball team gets. And one of the ways to do that is to do it during the school day. And who knows, maybe there's 10 Liana Zavalas sitting in the stands that are like, oh, that looks fun.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give that a shot.
Right.
And you show them both boys and girls can do this, and who knows what it'll turn into.
Getting exposed to some of these sports, for whatever reason, it was someone telling you about it, right? As you were working out, you got it with your brothers wrestling, and you maybe having a situation like this where we do one of these assembly duels will, inspire somebody else. Let's go to some of the cool things that you guys do. There's so much to get to if we really want to here. Let's talk about some of the other girls in the team for a minute. Maybe you guys can just pick one or two that, maybe a little bit. Isabel, go first.
I guess two girls I could talk about because I play softball with them are Kayla and Emily.
What's their full names?
Kayla Shaft and
Emily Gerlach.
Yeah, Emily Gerlach. I always forget how to say her
That's
last
okay.
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I play softball with them, and this year they decided to wrestle, and it made me like really glad because I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to spend 2 seasons with you guys.
Oh, that's great.
And like I get to build a better connection with you, especially through a sport I love so much. So, yeah, it's their first year, and they're doing really good. I think Kayla's first tournament, she got first.
Yeah,
No
kidding.
Yep.
And then Emily, she got third.
She got third.
And that was at the Kent County
Kent
Classic.
Classic.
So I'm like, okay, you guys are going to be doing some crazy stuff by the time you're a senior, and I hope you stick with us
And
because
then-
I'm so excited to
And then
see
Kayla
it.
plays 5th at the Mat Cat.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Kayla did. That was,
Mhm.
I love Kayla. She's so funny when she wrestles. She's like really scrappy. I think it's just so fun to watch her wrestle.
Is that something that you notice, like every wrestler kind of has their own personal style? And like, what's it like with some of these other wrestlers in the program?
Yeah, everyone really has like their own style and like their own like things that they do before matches, and like it's like like this whole like category of wrestling, this whole style, and yeah, everyone has like their own thing, and I'm trying to like think of how everybody all the girls wrestle.
Like Bray likes to throw.
Yeah,
she,
yes.
She
Oh, yeah.
threw her way to the finals. And
Threw her way to the finals.
She
She
did
really
had
did
an
the
arm.
same
and-
exact move
same-
every single match and won her
And won-
place.
won
up.
her
I guess if you're good at it, huh?
Hey, yeah.
Yes, yes.
We said that. It's like if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right. That's a big thing in sports. Yeah, this is working. We're going to do something else now. No, don't need to.
One of the things that's always stuck out to me about wrestling is the grind.
Mhm.
The practice,
Oh my
the
goodness.
practice room, the kind of the mentality each and every day that you have to walk in. My football coaches when I was in high school were all over me to wrestle. I was like, I'm going to play basketball. Now, there's part of me that wishes, because I was a very physical athlete, but I basically was a wrestler on the basketball team. But what is that like? What is that mindset? Where do you have to go in your head to kind of prepare to walk into that room every day? Maybe, Coach, give us your perspective as being somebody that's done it and now you're coaching it.
Yeah, no, I mean, if I'm being completely honest, it sucks. It
Mhm.
really does. I
Right.
hated going to practice as, it was just tough. You knew that you're constantly moving, you're constantly working. It is tough. Like just getting your butt kicked almost for 2 hours straight. It is definitely a grind. As a coach, it's a little different. There's expectations, obviously, but we definitely understand that these athletes are doing the stuff that they're supposed to do. That they are putting their bodies on the line when they're at practice. It's so I can't really explain it because it's so tough. It's almost like you have to try it. You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's a physical battle.
It is. It's a fight, and that's how I can explain it. It's literally putting your body. It's like fighting, but without like punching and kicking someone.
I was watching some YouTube this morning. I believe I was watching you at the 2022, and somebody had gotten on your back, and they were just screaming at you to get up, get up, get up. And it flashed back to my older brother beating me up when I was younger. And I remember just him getting me. And I'm like, man, that's like a really tough spot to be in. Like, I just remember physically, I hated my brother trying to beat me up. And I'm like, that's what you guys do every single day. I mean, even in practice, you two spar a lot too, right? The two of you kind of go at it.
Every day. Every single
day.
day. No.
Yeah.
We don't have different partners. We're just our own designated.
Yeah.
We're always
Really?
together, yes.
There's nobody else you guys spar except each other for the most part.
Sometimes we'll break the other girls up, just to give them a little challenge and teach them a few things. But we're mainly always together.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's so funny because like we'll have like a break in practice or get water, and you'll just hear them, being like little mouses, Liana, or something like that, or don't hurt me, Liana, don't hurt me. And then all of a sudden we come back to practice, and it's like a switch, and then they're right back at it, like
Because it's intense when you go at it. Like, you got to really focus. You're probably working on moves, but then you're also defending a great move by your opponent. Isabel, what's it like to go up against Liana consistently in practice and spar?
It's actually super hard now because it's like we wrestle each other so much. It's like we already know what we're gonna do. So like I'll like hit a shot on Liana, and she like her hips are so heavy that they always give me such a hard time. I just have to like sometimes just gotta like push her off of me. It was like, okay, let's do it over again. Like I need to redo that. It's just so bad. And then like sometimes we have to go break up the other groups because they're like, okay, I already know what you're gonna do. You know what I'm gonna do. Let's try something new and let's go see something different.
How about yourself, Liana?
I love wrestling with Belle because it's just so funny. She'll just be like, no, don't hurt me, or I don't want to wrestle with you. You're too strong. Or like, just joke like that. And it's just like, I actually like it though, because like, then it like pushes me to like try like new things. Like, hey, I'm gonna try.
You're gonna
this.
have to.
Yeah, because like we can't just sit there and like just run in circles like the whole time. And so like like I'm like, oh, let's just try this, and if it doesn't work, then I'll get out, and then I know for like a next match that this won't work, or like I'll try it, because like Belle, actually many of the girls that I wrestle like kind of feel like the same, or like they're obviously lighter than Belle, but it's just like it makes me like when I'm in the match, I'm like, oh wait, they're lighter and less stronger than Belle. So
I would think it gives you great confidence going in. Like if you're sparring with Isabel every day,
3-time state placer.
and then you get into your own match, and you're weight class down, right?
Yeah.
Your confidence just may through the roof.
Yeah, especially like during like last year and freshman year, it was like when I was like 2 weight classes down, I was like, oh yeah, if I can hang with her, then these girls are just gonna be a walk in the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, can you compare their styles? How maybe just really briefly, how are they the same, but how are they also different? How are they able to be best friends? Oh, good friends. I don't know your guys' relationship.
Yeah, we are best friends.
You are best friends?
Basically
Okay.
best friends.
Okay. So how is that even possible?
For them, I know they both like hate to lose, love to win, and they want to end their match as soon as possible. I know that. She does not like going to the third period on a match, whereas Zavala is just like, I'm going to keep coming after you. Doesn't matter what period it is. I'm going to just grind on you and beat the living crap out of you.
Because you're always going for pins?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they both are. Like I said, they both are pinners. I will have to get the stats on their pins, but I know it's very high for both of them.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, I know you like to go to your front headlock stuff, and
Oh my god.
where Zavala is more of taking shots, taking more risks. So,
What are some of your favorite moves? There's a lot of cool moves in wrestling. So I was able to talk to a few people about. There's some really great names like I'm not going to do this very well, but there's the bundle. Right?
I love the
Yeah.
bundle.
That's her-
Isabel, can you talk about the bundle? Exactly what
Oh
that
my
is?
goodness.
Yeah, so pretty much my favorite way to hit it is like when the girl's flattened out and you have to crossface, and it sounds really bad to say it like this, but it's basically like you're punching the girl but with your forearm.
With your forearm.
And like you can't like pull back because then it's like
Yeah, wind up.
unnecessary roughness. But like I feel like I do it so good because I like my forearm just like connects with their face so well.
The smile on your face right now is a bit disturbing, but please continue.
trust me, I've been on that end of
Yeah, okay.
crossface before.
It's just so nice. And then like you like crossface and you kind of like have to just grab both their arms like and just pull it tight to your chest and just spin around and force them to flip over. I love that move so much. It was my first ever pin. I put a kid in a bundle and I will never hate that move. I love that move so much.
Oh, that's really cool.
Leanna, what about you? What's your go-to?
I'm not really sure. I love high crotches. High crotches are like what do they call them? High C, high crotch.
Yeah, it's the
Like
same
same-
thing. It's
yeah,
the
same
exact
thing.
same
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. But like
Like,
some people
so it
don't.
takes less practice time to say
Yeah.
high crotch. I like to say high C, high C.
Some people just that was like the first one that I learned, and like
What is that move?
it's basically just where you're like in neutral and then you like take a penetration and like basically like go
Yep.
up their crotch like with
Right.
your hand and then like
Henceforth.
and then obviously
Yeah.
like 2 hands to one and then you cut the corner and then just double off, and it's just like sometimes if you like hit it right, like their hips will already be down, they'll be like already like
the
on their
mat,
hip,
yep,
on their back. And so, yeah, that's my favorite.
Listening to the both of you talk, I had wrote this down earlier and you just showed it. Wrestling is as much cerebral, so it's more about
Mental.
thinking as it is physical. When you're out there, you have all your moves. Are you thinking about the move, or is it more muscle memory now and it's second nature? You know, a lot of athletes, when they're in a sport and it's going well, it's like, oh, my brain was turned off. I just went.
It's
What-
it's like both. Like, cause like we practice it so much, and just for that like sole purpose to like get it engraved in our brain. So like we're not just thinking, so we can just like flow. So like that's what like we've been recently doing, just like flowing, not really going through the motions, but like it's just like natural. It's just like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I would definitely say it's like I have to think in some of my matches. Usually, if it's a girl who doesn't give me too hard of a time, like my body kind of just like does its own thing, and I'm like, okay,
It's along
Like-
for the ride.
yeah. And then like if it's a girl who gives me a really hard time, there are times where I have to like push her away and like, okay, what am I gonna hit on her? Because I tried this and it doesn't work. So yeah, it just depends.
Yeah, some of it is like if a wrestler's being reactive or proactive on stuff, or their positioning as well. I mean, they can be like tensing up or stalling, or they can be full go at you. You have to change your game, your plan up on some of these opponents. So it all depends on them. But for them, I mean, I know that they hit their go tos and they hit them well, and so yeah.
And for both of you, you're going to see some girls probably early in the season at some of these tournaments that you're eventually going to run into as you get into the off season.
Mm-hmm.
I can see both of you both have smirks on your. I'm guessing that
There's a lot of smirks in here today. It's really fun, actually.
I'm guessing you both have a name in the back of your head of somebody. Yeah, we're not going to mention them.
I was gonna say I don't want to.
But what do you do as you're getting towards facing that person again? What is kind of the mental process of going through and coming up with a game plan to wrestle that person that you've got experience wrestling before? Because you're probably switching things up, right?
Yeah, for me, I definitely have to like switch things up, and I get really high anxiety normally when it comes to those matches. Like I just feel so sick to my stomach because I get so nervous. But I just think of it as okay, well, like let me just try this, and I'll try it in practice for sure on Liana because I know she'll know how to defend it or give me a hard time with it. So I'm like, I'll tell her. I was like, okay, try this on me, and let me see what I can do to get out. Like I'll try to like plan ahead towards it. And yeah.
So you're trying to see that move from the other point of view.
Yeah.
So what your opponents. Well, that's cool. That's a nice approach.
Yeah, I mean, especially if we know like what that opponent has been doing in previous matches, we'll go back to like the drawing board or the tape and be like, oh yeah, this is what she does. How can we defend it? What can we do to prevent you getting in this position?
Do you ever like throw new moves in? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
Like I'm sure like as you become a better wrestler, right? There's probably like a ladder of everybody gets better at certain things and moving up.
Oh yeah.
Is there more stuff that you can add now, even though you've been doing it for a long time?
Yeah, definitely. I think just recently I started hitting like where you like pick up the leg, step through.
Pick and step.
Yeah, pick and step.
Pick and step.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of like.
I just
pick
got
and
that at
step.
Chick-fil-A yesterday.
Yeah, like just recently I've like found moves that I normally hit, but it's a lot easier if I just like go to a pick and step from there. So yeah, it's still definitely learning a lot new things.
Yeah, and that's all part of being a better athlete, the element of surprise, outgaming your opponent.
The other thing, so not just are you grinding in the wrestling room every day, I would imagine that both of you have spent some time in the weight room with Frank.
Oh yeah, I love Frank.
What is that done for your wrestling? Getting stronger. Leon, I know Bella sat here and told us how strong you are.
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting it done in the weight room and that's translating onto the mat?
Yeah, actually, there's like so much you can do. Like I was just in there on Monday, like a couple of days ago, and sometimes like when I'm in there, he'll just like if it's just like free, he'll just be like, "Oh, do you need like a split workout like schedule?" And I'm like, sometimes I'll be like, "No," or be like, "Yeah," because like sometimes there's things that like I want to work on. There's some things that I want to take from him so that I can, do what he recommends for like because like it's Frank. Frank knows like.
He knows everything.
So,
yes,
like,
he does.
He's
So,
so
like,
good at what he does.
yeah.
Yes, he does.
So just like Frank will be like, "Oh, do this." Like, "Oh, this will be really beneficial for this."
Mhm.
Like, gotta listen to Frank because he's the man.
He
So-
is.
Yeah.
You got to listen to Frank.
I love it.
It is.
Isabel, what about for you? I know not only softball's been in there, you're in there with wrestling. What's
Yeah.
that kind of done for you and your wrestling?
It's definitely helped because knowing the moves is one thing, but being able to like use a lot of muscle while doing it definitely helps because there's like I can hit a move on Liana and then I'll be like, dang, if I was just a little bit stronger, this would be so much more easier
Oh, really?
than just like trying to memorize how to do it. So yeah, definitely memorizing how to do moves and having like the muscle to do it is really beneficial.
What are the important muscles in a wrestler's body that kind of make a big difference? What would you say?
I would say all of them. Like you
Mhm.
could like
You-
stretch in like different ways that like you never would have thought you needed to like stretch. Like it's really random.
Like your neck.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
Definitely.
your neck.
So
Yeah. Back, legs. I mean, when you're shooting, you got to use your legs to drive on your opponent, So
Everything.
everything.
It's-
I'm
it's
yeah,
all
really
there.
everything.
How do you guys recover as wrestlers? I mean, I'm sure. Well, I mean, it's not really. It's and I'm really what I guess when I'm talking about recovery. Sometimes your matches are super quick, right?
Oh yeah.
If you're up against a lower level opponent, what are you done in a minute?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, if
Yeah,
that.
like the first tournament that I had, it was like I didn't go past first period with any of them, and it was just like I had to get the workout in my sprints after the match. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh.
Does it get boring sometimes when you know you
Yeah.
have an easy match coming
Yeah,
up?
but I feel like I'd rather. Well, no, I think like it's a little iffy depending on the day. I want a challenge. I'll be like, oh, okay, so like like our coaches like when we were at the at Montague, they were like telling us like we don't get privileges like this so early on in the season, so this will be like a learning opportunity. We know what's coming and we know what you guys should work on because like tough competition. So
Yes,
That Mat Cat tournament is
Right.
tough.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You
So
get
it's
the
a-
best of the best. in
it's
the
a good
state.
place to be.
Yep, absolutely.
I always get caught at like I've never placed first at the Mat Cat. Like I always get caught up with but yeah, those really tough girls, those ranked girls. I always get on that side of the bracket. I'm so serious. I literally wrestled like number 2.
Yeah, you did.
Number 2 in
In the
the
state.
190 weight
190.
class.
Yep.
Yes. So like,
And that was like first round,
no,
Oh,
it was
early?
second round.
second
Yeah,
round,
yeah.
early enough though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was in your
Mhm.
semis round. So
Well, that's what good coaches do, to be honest with you. They're going to put you out in those tournaments like that. And then if you win, wonderful, you know where you're at. But if you don't, you still know where you're at. And then
Right.
you get back to work.
Right.
it's like what I tell them. I was like, it doesn't matter who's in front of them. They're going to go out there, compete, do the best they can, and we trust them, and they go out there and perform. That's what they do, and they do amazing for us.
What are the upcoming kind of highlights? You got a couple of other tournaments that you're going to. What are some that maybe you have circled on the calendar? Like, oh, I got to get ready for this because we're going to see some good competition.
Hastings.
Oh yeah. Hastings and I would say Midland.
Midlands, sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. Midlands,
That's
yes.
gonna be
And
a
that's
good
on a
tournament.
Sunday, too.
Mhm.
That's on a
What?
Sunday?
It's on a Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Check the schedule.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, those are tough. I mean, any tournaments on the east side are tough because we normally don't get to see those teams out there,
Right.
and it's good for seeding purposes later on down the road. For sectionals and for states.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Far away on the horizon, of course, sits Ford Field.
Mhm.
I'm sure that always sits there. Do you guys ever watch Lions games and go, yeah, I was out there. I've been on
Sometimes.
Yeah,
that
I
game.
do.
Every single
Yeah. I'm like,
time.
you guys had
I'm
to
like-
pay to get here. I did.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'd be flexing it all the time if I were you guys. That's a great game. Yeah, I rested down there.
What an experience in that place, though, right?
Oh yeah,
It's awesome. I was
So
like, oh,
cool.
I get to walk through the tunnel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have like little pieces of turf that like stuck in my shoe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so this is from Ford Field. I'm just gonna keep it a little over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't got to get rid of that. How much fun is it to be there? Like, what's the atmosphere like when you're there?
Wild.
Yeah.
So wild.
Like you see like all because it's guys and girls, and so
Mhm.
like you see these guys who are just like huge and like jacked and like spend all their time doing wrestling get pinned, and I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, no way that just happened. Like you're crazy big, and that guy's just a little bit smaller than you are. Like, how did you just let that happen?
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and
it's
it's like, yeah,
it's
we're so
crazy.
like I'm there with Belle. Like we're just sitting like ready to go march around the whole entire field like twice, and then I just like, dang, like all these people are good. Like this is like just narrowed down to my state. Like, and all these people are supposed to be like crazy good, and like you'll see, and it's just crazy. Like to just like be like, oh, like this person could be bumped out today. This person could be state champion today. And it's like you're like by greatness and like by like so much like grief and like so many upcoming
oh,
things.
yeah.
It's
It is
so,
a very emotional
It
day.
is.
yes, it's so
Ooh.
scary.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're just all these people watching too. Like the stands aren't always like fully filled. I think they start to get more filled like the second day, but it's
Yeah.
still scary to just see like all those people. And it's like when Belle was saying like how these jack dudes, it's like they can be like so much muscle, but like technique will almost always win.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
like so
Mhm.
like it's just crazy how it works.
Yeah, Ford Field's great, but it doesn't compare to when they had it at the Palace, Auburn Hills. Oh
Really?
my,
You
yeah.
like the
Oh my
Palace of
gosh.
Auburn Hills,
Oh my
Michigan.
gosh, that
Is that the
whole
Palace?
the whole entire like seats were filled.
It was packed.
It was I love that atmosphere, and I love everyone
A
screaming.
little closer.
Yeah.
Everyone's up a
Tighter.
little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love when people are screaming too. Like it's so clear, but I definitely like Auburn Hills or the Palace better. But
And now the palace is no more.
no more.
No.
Nope.
It's gone.
It's all right.
Gone.
My youth doesn't exist anymore.
No.
I want to look that up later because
Yeah.
like me and Belle are like over
No
here.
idea
You
what
have no
I
idea what we're
saw
talking
that.
about right
Yeah.
now. honestly.
That was the first state finals I ever went to. Gosh, this is probably back in like 2010, 2011.
Mhm.
And I walked in, I was the AD of Forest Hill Central. We had a bunch of qualifiers, went down, and I'm just looking for my team.
Mhm.
And I get a text from coach. We're in like the upper deck,
Mhm.
all the way back against the curtain. That was the only spot they could find. And that was their seat. So we're getting like text messages like, oh, Brandon, you got to go down and get ready to start warming up.
Yep.
We're like in the upper deck of the palace.
It's so scary. Like we literally have to like, because sometimes depending on where we'll sit, we'll have to run like halfway
Yep,
across the
yep.
stage,
Oh, yeah.
and then down the stairs because there's only 2 entrances that you can go in. So like it's just we have to go all the way
All
down
the
to
way
like the
around.
end zone and down, and then you have to wait till your weight class to be called. Otherwise, the officials won't let you on, even on the like the performing mats, and it's just like just thinking about it makes me so anxious. Like my hands are freezing right now. My hands are so cold.
I don't know. Some Dippin' Dots sound pretty good though.
I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
I can't. Like everyone's
can't
like,
eat?
oh yeah, it's just like
Oh,
it's
yeah,
so
I-
fun. I didn't eat
No.
a single thing from like the
cannot.
food court or nothing. It's just
It's very healthy to feel
anxious.
that way. It means you care. Yeah, it's difficult to go up against the best of the best, but guess what? People are thinking the same thing about you.
Oh yeah.
Think about that.
Yeah, I think you guys are ranked in the top 3, top 4, and they're
Oh yeah.
and-
You're on somebody else's mind.
Mhm.
Someone's getting better for you.
Yeah, they got a game plan for you guys.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get near the end here, so we'll get a little. We'll just kind of finish up. Let me ask a couple things. You have more memories coming up? They haven't been made yet. What are your best memories of each other, Liana? If you can, if you think about Isabel, and what's something that you just think about her that's kind of one of your favorite memories of her wrestling?
Oh my gosh. All right, so
She had one ready to
She
go.
had
Oh,
one
she was ready to rock.
locked and
yes, I did. Okay, so like as of like wrestling, like it's so weird. I hate to say it, but like we barely ever talk like before matches. Like we'll hype each other up a little bit, but like I know to like leave her to her own thing to get to like do her own thing. So like, and she knows to leave me to my own thing and just like trust that we both will like do whatever. But yeah, it's always there's so many like things in practice that like we always have like a laugh, especially with like the coaches and stuff like that. I can't
Well, you know
pinpoint,
what?
like, one
For you,
one
it's
time.
not specific.
Yeah, it's not because like
No.
it's always just so fun with Isabel. Like we know when to like take things serious and we know when to like goof off and joke around. Just like like literally just today during practice, like we were scrambling. It was so weird. Like we never scramble, and so like and then we were, and she was just like, "Oh, you're so flexible," and it was just like it's so crazy. But one of like the really fun times was like freshman year of states. I think it was states. Yes, it was states.
Was it states?
Yeah, I think so. Or that or regionals, because we got to the hotel and we like see our 2 beds, and then we just got them weighing in. We're like famished. We're so excited. We're about to go eat, and then I look at the bed and I just belly dive on the bed, and then Abby. When Abby was with us when she was at States, I miss Abby. And then she dove on top of me, and then Isabel dove on top of Abby that was on top of me, and it was just this whole big dog pile. And I have a video of it and everything.
Oh, there you go.
Yes,
You did have a memory.
Yeah, we were all in our singlets and everything, and it was just so fun. I
Oh,
was
that's hilarious.
Our little trio.
Yeah, I would definitely say my favorite memories are always when we go like to the hotels together. Because it's like a little sleepover, and like we all get to like just have
That
fun.
little kid sleepover all over again, right?
Especially
Yeah.
the pools.
Yeah,
I
they
love
are.
going to the pools
Yes,
so
that
much.
was so fun.
They want to play mermaids.
Yeah,
in the
we
pool.
love
I don't know what that
playing
is, but-
It's so funny because, we send wrestling traditionally, you'll have some overnight stuff. Tennis will do an overnight if their state tournament is not on the west side. Swim. Tennis and swim gets really bummed out when the state meet is in Grand Rapids. Like the kids are heartbroken over it because they don't get the hotel night. And our coaches love it because they're going to sleep in their own beds tonight and get their home cooked meals, and everybody else is traveling to us. So it's I had a feeling that your best memories were going to be the overnight over there. So
You should be
that's
happy. Good. Oh my gosh, Detroit is so populated.
Oh,
we had
yeah.
to like time, like our schedules was like when he sent us our schedules, like everything was like half an hour in advance because like we got to put traffic into play. We got to get a ride there. We got to either we got to walk here, and like it was just like I guess I like Detroit, but like sometimes I wish it was in like a smaller city, not really like.
I hear you.
Yes, so populated.
Yeah, kind of more going on. This has been really, really fun. What a pleasure it's been to sit down with you. You guys have wonderful personalities. It's just amazing to be with you guys here. Where would you be without wrestling? I mean, how important is it to you in your life? Isabel?
Not gonna lie, I'd probably be really lazy. Like really lazy and out of shape. Wrestling has definitely done a lot for me. It's like taught me how to like be mentally tough, and how like there happens like some things I cannot control. Like even if I put in my best, like it's okay that sometimes I will fail, and that like it just keeps me going, like just keeps me encouraged pretty much.
Isabel? Sorry. That was Isabel.
Oh yeah, I was kind of listening.
It was such a good quote. I kind of got lost in it.
Yeah, same. That's what I was like.
Yeah, you were too.
Yeah, I was like,
We were both like,
oh yeah.
really? That's
Oh yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Oh no, I feel like I think I'd be a bum. Really, I would, I would be like, I don't know. I think I'd just like be I'd have less priority, so I'd have like less discipline in it. Just like play into like everything, like relationships, like friendships, and like just like schoolwork and stuff like that. I think it would be like a lot different. I feel like sometimes really like wrestling like saved me because like and like during freshman year and like high school, like everyone says like high school sucks, like high school is like the worst years of your life. But like I feel like when I did wrestling, I was like I have something to look forward to. I have something to like keep going at every day, and I have something to just keep getting better at. And it's just like there's like a lot of sports like like where you'll just like you'll hit that mark, you're just like you're the best. But like with wrestling, like there's always something to work on. And so like I feel like it really is. It gives you like so many like how Coach Montoya was saying, one day after practice, we were all just like so tired. It was one of those practices, like so hard, just like grinding us out and getting us ready for like the beginning of the season. And he was telling us like, this is going to teach you like a whole bunch of things in life. Like, this is going to teach you to just keep getting up and keep working at it and keep showing up, because like a lot of things, like for like jobs, like family, like you just got to keep showing up. And it's just like, yeah, it's like wrestling really is life, because like there's so many things that you can compare it to like real life things, because it's so like inclusive with like everything, like mental, like physical, and just everything overall. It's like it's really, yeah, like Coach said, like a fight.
That's awesome.
I think I was staring into the distance before. I was like,
oh my goodness.
Coach, you get to coach them. What's it like having them?
It's an honor, a privilege that you. Oh man, now I'm getting a little.
We've had tears on the podcast before.
No, yeah. I'm so proud of these girls. These girls are amazing. They work so hard to get to where they're at, and I am so happy, blessed to be their coach. Like I said earlier, they're family. I love them so much. Like, they put in the work, they put in the time to see their ups, their downs. You see them practically almost every day on a daily basis during the winter, and I really don't have the words, because I'm so proud of them. And
Well,
I wish them nothing but the best. And
You just had the words, my friend. You did just fine.
I'm just privileged and so happy that I get to be their coach, because they are the best, and I love them, and I can't wait to see what's in store for them.
Got Dusty in the podcast studio again. Here I am.
Well, we're going to follow you from now on. I'm going to be in the crowd at some point. I know I am now, because I know you. And I tell you what, I can't be more excited to hear your stories, what you guys got coming up. It's just a real treat to sit down with you.
Thanks so much for coming in today.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
And remember this, we are West Ottawa. We are community. We are each other. Thanks to all of you. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Is that a wrap?
That's a wrap. If you have enjoyed listening to the 29-1 podcast, be sure to like and subscribe. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.